Welcome everyone to an episode of the Definitive Crusade. This is your after Christmas, pre-New Year little treat from us, the Definitive Crew. It would not be a Definitive Crew if it was not for the lovely Freyja.
Hi
How's
guys.
it going?
Good.
And of course, one of the celebratory things we need to talk about, the things that happened this year, we have Matthew.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy
All
New
right.
Year.
Hopefully everyone's had a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Hanukkah.
Hopefully everyone's got what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
I guess.
see.
Okay.
I didn't get a girlfriend this year. I guess I didn't get everything I wanted, but who knows?
Oh well.
Nobody.
Boo, bad jokes. Boo.
Right. Okay. Before we get going into the theme of today's pod, which is the best of the year, I want to talk about something that happened on the show this year, actually. This year, at the start of the year, we were minus Freyja for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Matthew stepped into the void left by Freyja.
Yep.
And did so well that I asked him to stick around, even when Freyja was coming back. So Matthew, I'm glad you made it, mate, buddy.
Well, thank you. I'm very glad to be here. Has it been a year?
Yeah, Freyja, man. And Freyja, I'm so pleased you're back. The show is not the same without you. You are, without doubt, one of the best voices on the UCPN. So thank you for coming back to us to stop me and Matthew throttling each other.
We had some close calls there.
I mean, how many I Hate Red Hood jokes can you have in 1 year, right?
Right? I can only take so much, Johnny.
That's why I live in a different country.
And buying plane ticket.
Yeah. That's why you do overtime. Got you. All right. Okay. Enough shenanigans and gans to go around. This is the best of 2022. Now, we're going to go through a couple of books each. Some of these, I'm not going to lie, some of them did start in 2021, but if you don't say anything, I'm not going to say anything. All right? So it'll be our little secret. All right. Okay. First up is the lovely Freyja, looking very authentic for this book, I believe, as her first. Yeah.
No longer Mrs. Claus like last one,
but it is this little beauty. It is the Monkey Prince, which was written by Jean Luan Yang. Bernard Chang is on art. Marcelo Mayolo is on colors, and Janice Chang is on letters. Right, Freyja, what is it about the Monkey Prince book that you liked so much?
I think it's nostalgia for Journey to the West and how much I love that book. I love that story. Also, it's nice to see someone who's not like obsessed with superheroes, you know?
All right,
because he hates Batman. Well, he grows out of his hatred for Batman, and he realizes
after the last issue, I quite hate Batman as well. Like so.
Yeah. So, but like, it's nice because you actually have a growing character arc. They also, when they speak Chinese, they have little subtitles that tell you what it means underneath, which I appreciate. Pigsy is fun. I still want Sandy though, man. I still want Sandy showing up. So his journey kind of starts because of his fear. He, awakens his little monkey spirit inside of him, and Pigsy is going to teach him how to, be a hero. Hero kind of like his dad, which they still haven't explained how the Monkey King is his dad. So they haven't explained that yet. But he has found the rod that extends and you can shrink it down and put it in his ear like the Monkey King does. And so he's going and saving heroes from the demons who are just like sucking their souls out and absorbing their powers. And so that's the whole thing so far. It hasn't concluded yet. It's on book 9. I chose this because it's different. It's a new hero, which I've been asking for a while. And he is very much a teenager. In the last book, Supergirl's in it, and he has a major crush on her, so he's hitting on her the whole time.
I am going to check that out right now.
Even when she's beating the crap out of him, he's like, "You're so hot when you're angry."
I love it.
I was like, "Oh, this kid's I love this kid." So it's a book that I've been enjoying. It's ridiculous. It is for teenagers, and you can tell, but I still greatly enjoy it. The artwork has been not my favorite, but the color and the majority of it I like because it fits the tone.
It's fair. That's a great way of putting it. I think it's fair to say that the art fits its tone well. It has that youth look about it. It fits its audience. It's not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination, but I can understand why people love this so much. I love the original Monkey TV show.
Yeah.
I don't mind the re-release that came out on Netflix about a year and a half or so ago. Maybe, I mean, it's not my favorite, but I like the whole idea. We talk a lot about diversity and equality when it comes to DC Comics. And I think that this is diversity and equality done correctly.
Yeah.
If that's the goal, then I think they've succeeded there brilliantly. Matthew, what was your take on the old Monkey Prince?
I'm same points as Freyja brought up. I enjoyed the artwork. It was pretty fun. I didn't read the last issue, but now knowing that it's Girls Say and he's sitting on it all the time, I have to go read it because that sounds hilarious.
Yes.
But it's a fun little read.
Yes. Cool. I like how it's so well done. You think about the book as kind of not throwaway per se, but it's not geared towards the main superhero universe within DC. So even though
it's its own contained story, and it's not connected to everything else, which is what I feel is really missing with comic book nowadays. Is you can't just sit down and read a Supergirl book because it's like, read this book to understand what the crap they're talking about. Read this book to see why Gotham is in flames. I'm like, I don't want to read all these other books just to know what's going on in the Nightwing book. I just want to read a Nightwing story. I don't want freaking Wonder Woman popping up in my Nightwing story because of something that happened in Justice League. It's just it's too much. But in this, you don't really have to do that. It's just him and his interactions with the other heroes, which is like total like kid who doesn't worship superheroes. Like he mouths off to Aquaman and calls him fish breath or your royal fishiness or something like that. And Pigsy's obviously slobbering all over Mara, figuratively and literally. So it's a fun read, and you just got to be like, okay, yeah, it's its own thing. It doesn't affect anything outside of what the story is, and I appreciate that. And this is I wanted diverse characters, and they gave me exactly what I wanted: a diverse character that's written well and isn't preachy in your face about things. Like he's just, it's a fun story, and I really want to know how he's the son of the Monkey King. I really want
to see when a Monkey King and a special girl get together.
I know, but she doesn't.
Special kiss.
But the thing is that she doesn't seem to understand that her son is the Monkey Prince. She doesn't get it at all. So if she had a one-night stand with the Monkey King, I'm pretty sure she would remember that.
Freyja, to expound upon a point that you made earlier, the language thing, and I believe this is a big point that we had in our last episode that we made, is when people, do the other language other than English aspect. Blue Beetle in the last episode had the family that talked in Spanish, but if we didn't know how to read or understand Spanish, we didn't know what they were saying. Whereas in this one, whenever they spoke a different language, they had a little subtext that explained what they were saying. So
that's good. One of the things I like about this book, and this pretty much covers a whole wide range of different books, is everybody loves a hero in the making story, don't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's essentially what we've got here with this one. So that's cool. Excellent. Off to a good start, I have to say. Very well done. Right. Where's that picture going? Right. Next one. I think this is Matthew. I think this is going to be one of yours. And for this one, I have gone for a variant cover, which I don't think we see. We didn't talk enough about back in the day, but this is.
Yes.
That was a great.
This is
variant
Matthew's
cover.
choice. And if anybody didn't have this on their scorecard, where have you been for the last year? This is DC versus Vamps, written by James Tynion IV with Matthew Rosenberg. Art and colours for the main are done by Otto Schmidt, although recently he has had a couple of finishes going after the effect, and letters are by Tom Napolitano. Matthew, what is it about this book that you like so much?
Look, just from the very first book that was released, I remember picking this up because we had just finished discussing previous weeks another book that's actually on my list.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Whoops, I won't say anything about it. But we had just discussed it. It was another like Halloween special issue, and I was like, okay, that one ended up pretty good. Let's see how this one goes. And from the moment I picked it up, I've just been engrossed because the artwork is astonishing. It's fantastic. It's taken some
fantastic.
Anyways, like the artwork itself, like you pick it up and you're like, oh, it's lighthearted and it's brilliant and bubbly and it's good. And then it immediately turns into a chapter where we see the Green Lantern turn one of the Wonder Twins into a milkshake. And just literally put them into a blender and grind them up. And I was like, oh my God, it's such a turn from what I was expecting, because I was expecting lighthearted and bubbly and got greeted with darkness. It's great. It's from the storytelling and artwork, wonderful story. Now, admittedly, I will have to say this. It has gone on a little bit too long.
That's a fair shout.
It has. They have stretched the story out over so many issues that could have been shortened, and it had its own one or two spin-offs where it's telling like alternate stories, and that did kind of frustrate me that it was telling alternate stories within its own big universe.
It's also, it had a hiatus. It had a break, so it got like to a certain point, and it wasn't on the schedule for a couple of months or so. So that's kind of, given that elongated element, makes it even worse, I suppose.
Yeah. But still, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love the story, where it was going. It's not a typical like, oh, there's vampires in the world. There's a lot of plot twists. There's some thinking and detective work that's going on. It's absolutely amazing. If you didn't get this for Christmas, it's not too late. It's not too late. It's a very late Christmas gift.
I like, one of the things I like about this, even though he's on the cover, is the Batman can't save the day. So that's nice and transitory. Freyja, you've been quite vocal about this book. Sometimes you love it, sometimes you hate it. Other times you kind of think, oh my God, can't believe this is still going on, which as Matthew says, is a valid point. What's your thoughts overall then? Now we've sort of looked and reflected on the whole year that has been DC versus Vampires. In fact, this started in December 2021.
Yeah. And it's still not done yet.
One issue to go.
Yeah.
An issue left.
It's been a roller coaster with this book because, like you said, I liked it and then I don't like it, then I like it, then I don't like it. My main thing though is it's exhausting. Is really what it is. It wears me out because of the stories within the stories. Well, some of them were good, but like it felt like it was padding, and pacing is a major issue I have with some of these event books, because they seem to drag on and then rush everything at the end, or and this one's the same way.
There aren't any dragons in this. It's vampires.
Oh.
I thought my fantastic one was bad.
Oh my gosh. But this one like started out great. Green Lantern killing Wonder Twin was it came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then the Damien betraying the vampires, and but it's too long. That's what it is. It's just too long. It's too drawn out. It's exhausting. Maybe if you sit down and you have all the books and you read them all at once, yeah, fine. But like this is just, it's exhausting. A good story, but it's just so long.
One of the things I like, and I hope McFarlane and DC get in on this, because I don't see some of these figures. Some of the new character designs have been spot on. Vampy Wonder Woman, for example.
Oh
my
God.
Vampy Zatanna.
My heart. I know they're evil characters, but I'm like, oh, I love you so much.
Batgirl, maybe not so much, but generally speaking, the characters, some of the designs have been a little bit left field. I've enjoyed that. I enjoyed the I think I enjoyed the chase more than the actual where we are now. I liked how the subterfuge at the beginning of the series, how the vampire heroes would go around and try and sway the other heroes through various bits and bobs. Once we kind of got a view of the landscape, so I suppose from issue 7 onwards, things took a bit of a different turn. I didn't think it was as original then. And the last issue, when they introduced aliens to the whole thing, I was like, what? Where's this come from? But, it was worse than, flying, like falling out of space and landing on your feet. But never mind.
Right.
We'll figure, right? But overall, I've enjoyed it. I love Otto Schmidt. I remember when he was on Green Arrow, and I was the only person buying that book. I loved his Future State Catwoman stuff, which everyone seemed to hate. I say everyone, I mean Freyja. So generally a win-win. So yeah, it's been a ride. I do agree with Freyja though. It has been exhausting. It has been a long ride.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it's been a year.
It's still not done.
Well, there you go. All right, excellent. So if you thought that was obvious for Matthew, did anyone think that mine was going to be obvious?
Yeah.
You're always a wild card. I'll admit it. I never know what you're going to do.
True that. All right. So again, starting in 2021, finishing in 22, is this book, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I picked this alternate cover because this is the one I went and bought. I love the classic Supergirl costume there. This was written by Tom King with art by Bilquis Evely, colours by Matthews Lopez, letters by Clayton Cowles. We looked at this book several times during the year, and each time we all came away with the same thought. As much as I can remember that some of the art was gorgeous, but man, what a wordy book.
Yeah.
There's a ton of reading to this book. That said, I absolutely adore this book. It had me from the moment Krypto got shot with the arrow on a planet with a red sun. I was invested. I don't know if it's because my personal circumstance changed around New Year last year, or January 1st, 2022. And that just made it more poignant to me. I don't know. But from that point in, I was invested. Even to the point when Comic comes into it, I'm still invested. And I hate horses. The whole idea of what it means to be House of L or a Supergirl or a Superman, it just absolutely resonates through this book. And I'm saying this, I don't like Tom King. I've said it loads of times. Some of his work, his Batman Catwoman thing went on for too long. It made no sense at the end. This, on the other hand, 8 issues. Pearson could have been an issue a little bit. Could have maybe lost an issue here or there. But on the whole, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Told its story. Heart firmly on its sleeve. The choices you make, the choices you don't. What would you do to get revenge on the person who killed your father? Absolute great story. Loved it, every minute of it. Matthew, what did you think of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow?
I'm right there with you. Fantastic artwork, but words.
Yeah, it's a comic book, dudes.
It is a comic. I know it's a comic book, like emphasis on book. Books have words, and I love reading. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorite books that I've read so many times is Sherlock Holmes series.
Oh, cool.
Jules Verne. I love Jules Verne's work. If you want to talk about wordy, read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No, thank you. Did that
Yeah,
once.
Jules
Not gonna
Verne
do it again.
is a very scientific-minded author.
Did you know the difference between deceleration and acceleration?
Yeah, exactly. But I absolutely love Jules Verne's work. But the difference between one of his books or a book in general, Sherlock Holmes with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, or even the Chronicles of Narnia, just the main difference between their works and a comic book is that a comic book has those illustrations, and you're supposed to be invested in not only the words but the artwork as well. The others are theater of the mind, whereas this one you actually get to see things and characters and events play out through the artwork. And when half of that is covered by text bubbles, it gets a little annoying. But admittedly, it's fantastic artwork. It's fantastic artwork.
Cool.
It's beautiful, gorgeous. They did an absolutely amazing job. The story is very well done, like you said, with Crypto being shot with an arrow at the very beginning, and just going through the whole journey of Supergirl throughout trying to find out who did this, what's going on through the story of House L. It's a very, very good story.
Cool. Excellent. Freyja, did you like the European style artwork?
The artwork, it sometimes I liked it and sometimes I didn't. It really depended on my mood, to be perfectly honest.
You know what? That's a really good shout.
Because sometimes I'm just like, oh, so wispy. But I like how the capes, like, her capes all shredded and how that's wispy. But I was like, sometimes not. And I hated the end suit, the pantsuit. I hate that suit for her. I don't like it at all. But I do agree the story was good, but it's so wordy and it's hard to appreciate it. Like Matthew said, it's hard to appreciate the art when it's covered by a wall of text. It's more, you're using comic books, you have visualizations. There's a lot more show, don't tell type thing, you know. But also it's a more complicated story, so it needs more words. But at the same time, I don't have to like it if I don't, you know. So story was good. It is very wordy, so it's one of those ones that you read in this and you're like, okay, well, I need to walk away for a while, type of thing. But the story is great though. So, and the artwork for me, it like I said, it's really dependent on my mood for the day. But you know, I agree that it is one of the better books of the year though. So
cool, excellent, good shout. That's a win. I'll take that. All right, time for one of our adverts for one of our other shows. You know what? Let's keep it short and sweet. It's the Old Timers.
Do you want to find out what makes the professor do his happy dance? Check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, only on the UCPN.
There you go, the good old Timers Comic Book Show, where the hosts aren't old, but the comics most certainly are. Don't understand the whole concept, but there you go. There is.
It's Christmas. I'm saying quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Christmas goes to Christmas past.
Yeah.
And then some is what you're trying to think of. All right.
No comment.
It's not too early to go. It's not too early to go on the naughty list for next year, Matthew.
What? Nah.
Just saying.
I've got a 5-day grace period.
A 5-day grace period. Is that how it works? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where's that professional Santa's helper gone? Let me see if I can have a word with him.
Look, he's sleeping. He had a long night. He's sleeping for at least a week.
Hence the grace period. All right. Back to the books. Freyja, this is one of your choices. Again, I've gone alternative cover. This
Woo!
you like that one?
Beautiful cover.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one.
Beautiful cover.
This is Poison Ivy, which started off as a miniseries, but was so popular. I read that DC have made it an ongoing book. There you go.
Yep.
So this is G. Willow Wilson writing. The main artist is Masao Takara, although there has been a guest artist on recent issues. Colors are by Arif Prianto and letters, Hassan Otsman Elwal. Freyja, what is it about the lovely redhead that you like?
Oh, what is there not to like about Poison Ivy? Let's be honest.
True that. So I saw this cover. I was doing like a search today, sorting out the covers for the show. I saw this one. I was like, should I? Shouldn't I? I was like, are you kidding? Of course I should.
Exactly. So this series is pretty good. Poison Ivy is kind of like, she has this fungus growing in her, and she's like trying to spread it to as many people. Like she's trying to cause a global outbreak, essentially, of this like spore that kills people. And all the while, she's just kind of like, and it shows at the very end that her talking throughout the book is actually a letter she wrote to Harley. So the entire time we're actually reading a letter that she has written to Harley. And so throughout the book, the art kind of deteriorates a little bit. I don't know. The style is very unique. It kind of has the like Sandman vibes to it. I think we even said that before.
Yeah, because she's into the green a lot, isn't she? So she has psychedelic moments. Do you think the art, as you say, if you think it deteriorates, do you think that the art reflects her personal journey? Because if she's got this fungus inside her, it's effectively affecting her. So therefore, is the art showing that visually that it's having an impact, or is it?
I kind of actually feel like it because it is a slow deterioration, like, and then she gets more and more like stuff growing on the outside of her, and there's just some beautiful panels throughout it though too. But and then eventually she does have fight the Pharaonic Man.
Pharaonic Man, yes.
Pharaonic Man, and
that's what I'll go with.
And he is the one who like created her in this series. And I like when at the end you can tell when the book, like the series was supposed to end, because she sorry guys, spoiler warning, tune out now if you don't want the series spoiled, but it's not really going to be spoiled because it's continuing. But she defeats him, and she proceeds to like eat him. Like she cannibalizes him. I was like, that's a beautiful visualization. She's like, just tell yourself it's food. She just keeps eating him. so she like absorbs him. It's great. That was a fantastic way to end the series. But like you said, it was so popular that they continued it on. And I was like, okay. So, and then issue 7, I think, is the latest one. And you can tell that the artist changed. Like it's so drastically different. And I did not like the art change at all.
I'm with you on this one. I looked at that book prior to the show just to kind of get a credits list. And when I saw it was guest artist, I was like, what is going on? There's a scene in the new book where she's wearing like green overalls. And I swear they are the baggiest green overalls. You can't see where her knees begin and where her crotch ends. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's crazy art. But, you know, obviously, Masao is taking a break whilst enjoying the success of the book, and hopefully will come back on when to regain its popularity again.
Yeah. So I hope it because it has an interesting setup for the next arc, but I am not liking this art style for it. So I want the psychedelic back.
It's interesting because I've just caught up to date with the Harley Quinn cartoon, and Ivy's a major player this season. It's interesting how popular she's become through the LGBTQ elements, as well as, of course, of other aspects like the Harley cartoon show. So
Yeah.
I bought her last miniseries when she had daughters. I thought that was canny. But hey, Matthew, what did you think of Poison Ivy as a run?
Same train as you guys. Beautiful artwork up until the change of artwork, up and change of artist.
Mm-hmm.
Once the artist changed, I hope they bring back. I hope they bring back the other one soon.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love the story on how what you're reading is the letter to Harley. Just a beautiful little love letter that's describing her journey through this. It's very sweet, very well done. I also love how she's spreading this fungus thinking it's just killing humans, and then suddenly they're coming back to life as these fungus creatures, and she's like, huh,
yeah,
unexpected.
Maybe I gotta do something about that.
Yeah, just like, my bad. I thought that was rather cool. Psychedelic artwork. Oh, it's just so well done. It's so well done.
Cool.
That's
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clever. Well, what I like about it is that the book's done so well. It's a villain or an anti-hero at the very, but it's still really. It just shows, I suppose, in the DC universe, there are shades of grey that it's not as simple as good guy, bad guy. Fair enough, she does some bad things, but she's doing it for a good reason. So it kind of
what she believes is a good reason, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that is probably the secret of being a great villain, isn't it? The fact that you don't think you're doing anything wrong. Lex Luthor doesn't think he's a bad guy. All he's doing is saving the world from the alien parasites that is Superman. He's protecting the planet in his own crazy way. How he goes about it, well, Action Comics 1050 to find out. All right, excellent. I will say this. I thought this was one of the books of the year. I'm glad you picked it, because if you hadn't picked it, it would have made it really hard for me to pick something, because I thought this was really good.
Yeah, it was a good story. It's a good book.
Cool. All right. Is this our penultimate book? I think it is. Right. If you thought that DC Vamps was an obvious choice.
Look, I had to pick it. I just couldn't. I know
could not resist the big red hood.
I know.
This is Task Force Z, written by Matthew Rosenberg, who also helped write DC versus Vamps. So it looks like Matthew's got a Matthew fan
exactly
romance going on there.
We share the same name. we have to be in the same league, so to speak.
All right. Okay. Art by Eddie Barrows, who you might remember in Nightwing, back on the New 52. Inks by Eba Ferreira. Colors by Adriana Lucas. Letters are by Rob Lee. There you go. Whew. Tell me about the hood.
I know this started back in 2021. I know it's another book that technically didn't start this year, but it still went on through this year. Red Hood.
12 issues of this bad boy, isn't there?
Yeah. I'm a massive Red Hood fan, right? And even when picking up this book, I know that Red Hood has been given a lot of disservice in the past, like Future State, Red Hood. Oh God, that was not good. That was not good. As much as I love the character, it was not a good story for him. Decent artwork, not a good story. But so when I went into picking this up, I went into that mindset of like, oh, it's going to be another Red Hood cheesy story. Like, as much as I love the character, they've been just kind of throwing him under the bus a lot lately, in my opinion. But I was very, very delighted with this. It was a Halloween issue or a Halloween series that started out. And from the artwork to the storytelling, it was really, just in my opinion, really well done. Red Hood gets put in charge of this team of undead heroes, villains, and anti-heroes such as Bane, Man-Bat. Mr. Bloom technically isn't dead, if I remember correctly. He's just kind of like Mr. Bloom. And we get to see him in that leadership position and struggling with the fact that he's trying to be in charge of zombies or people that have been brought back to life through the science of the Lazarus pill. I forget the company that was running this whole project, but a little bit of a spoiler. This company was headed by Two-Face, we find out, which is a big plot spoiler, plot twist. And I thought that was really cool that they're bringing all these heroes and villains and stuff in that he's trying to lead. Also, the fact that he's doing this while trying to maintain to the rules of Batman by not killing people. And then Batman makes an appearance because he thinks he's broken this rule and he tries to take him down. He's like, look, I need you to trust me on this. And so they have a little bit of conflict. I thought, like, up until the end, it's kind of like with DC versus Vamps. The ending has kind of gotten a little wonky.
What ending? What ending? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know Vamps hasn't, but like you said, they released aliens, or they brought in aliens. Whereas in Task Force Z, it's taken a little bit of a left turn at the very end. There's a chapter where there's just an all-out brawl that just expands the entire issue, where it could have just been.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It is a little wonky, but still thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. You know what? I'm glad you picked this book. I know how much you loved it the first time around when we've talked about it. So, not all kidding aside, you've stuck to your guns on that one. Well done, Matthew. Good shout. Freyja, Task Force Z. I hope you guys appreciate I'm speaking American here, because to me, it's Task Force Z.
Well,
hey, I tried throwing you a bone. I said Task Force Z.
Nah, I'll be straight up American.
I'll be straight up American here.
Howdy, y'all. So we all gonna be talking about some Task Force. No, anyway. So Task Force Z. So
tried so hard yet failed so bad.
No, I was not raised in that area, so that accent is not like the one I can do.
I'm only winding you up. It's fine.
Sorry, but. I don't know. The ending was just. I don't even know what to talk about for that ending or this book. It was just. I do agree that the twists and turns were fun. The zombie aspect was fun. I guess Jason Todd was in it because he was dead technically. So, I do agree this was a pretty good book for the year. I remember the art being really good for majority of it. My nitpicking always finds something wrong with something. But yeah, I kind of, I don't know. Maybe because it's a Jason Todd book. It just didn't like reach out to me because I didn't really connect with any of the characters all that well. But I do see if anyone's a Jason Todd fan, then yeah, definitely I would say pick this up. Because it is a good story. It is. I just don't like Red Hood. So sorry.
I know. I'm a single drop in an ocean of Red Hood fans.
Yeah. Well, there's more of you than you think there is, but yeah.
Well, we can sort that out. I'm joking.
No.
So for me, this book's a hard sell, primarily because I'm not a Red Hood fan. Which isn't the poor scorn on Matthew. I absolutely love the fact that Matthew loves his characters and that's what he stands by. And that's really
love
great.
what you love, man.
Yeah, man, and that's exactly why we do this show, is because we have different opinions. If we all like the same book all the time, that'd be boring as anything. Yeah, so
it'd be like that Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy Turner turns everyone into gray blobs.
So
it's boring.
The premise behind the book's decent. For me, it was a timing issue because you had the Dead Planet story beforehand. You had vampires coming out just after it. It was like a lot of stuff similar coming out at the same time, which can happen.
We've complained about that a lot though. Through this podcast. So, like, they're always beating the dead horse. They're always, when Supergirl has what was it, like they had Donna Troy have like an alternate version of her come through a portal or something, and then someone else had that happen like a week previously in a different book.
They share the same brain cell, don't they? Bless them.
Yeah, it's like they're all in the same room and like, oh, let's all do this story plot line. Yeah.
That said, the art was good. I thought this was a lot pacier than the DC Vamps book. As far as I remember, there wasn't any tie-ins after this. It was just a straight up 12 issues. There you go. The thing that narked me more than anything was the ending, and that there was no ending. It was very much to be continued. And I thought to myself, if I was really invested in this book, if I bought the book and I'd gone through the whole 12 issues, I'd be quite miffed by that, because I think to myself, I'm in a bit of a privileged position where I get to see books as and when we talk about them, right? So I'm not. It's only my hard-earned time reading it to comment on it that I'm wasting. I'm not wasting anything else. If I'd bought 12 issues of this to be told on the final page to be continued somewhere else, I would be furious. I was furious when Scott Snyder did it with the whole Justice League. His whole 50-issue Justice League run was to get you to buy Dark Metals. I was like, why?
Yeah.
It's like, no, enough. Which kind of links into one of your earlier comments about event books and tie-ins a little bit.
Too much.
Yeah. I will say that the cast was a very interesting cast. You had Bane, you had Man-Bat, Mr. Bloom, characters that you don't necessarily think of as being together. So that was a quite interesting take, especially when you got like Bloom and Man-Bat both from a scientific frame of mind, as opposed to the more mystical elements of the DC universe.
And it was really cool. It was really cool seeing Bane in this, specifically because this was after the death of Alfred.
Yeah.
So seeing Jason trying to work with Bane while having that problem in between them. At one point, he even like revived Bane almost fully, so that way he could have a conversation with him, just to knock him off a cliff in revenge for Alfred, and then brought him back to life as part of the team. It's really cool seeing that dynamic between them because of that issue.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout, because there's some issues that some comics we've looked at recently where there have been ramifications of things mentioned. Things happened in the past. I know last issue we looked at the Blue Beetle graduation book. There's something in there that alludes to the Dark Crisis book. So, DC are trying to show that if something happens here, then it has an impact there down the line. So I quite like that. Still makes continuity hard to work out, but no, it's a good shout. Good call. Right. Last one for the pod, and it falls to me. Where is the book? Because I thought this was an absolute blinder. Let me just bring this up. It is a recent book, and it is The Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler, written by Tom King, art and colours by Mitch Gerard, letters by Clayton Cowles. And who in their right mind would think for best books of the year that I would pick two Tom King books? I am absolutely...
Like a wild card.
Honestly, I did the notes for the show earlier today. I wrote Tom King. I was like, I can't believe I picked two Tom King books. But hey ho, this book kicked off the One Bad Day, arguably the best One Bad Day book so far. Basically, it's an origin piece for the Riddler, who was always stumped as a child with a humorous question at the end of the exam. Lo and behold, he cheats. He gets caught cheating, and he does something dramatic like kill the teacher, and that leads him.
Yeah.
That leads him. It's my word. I love that word. So it leads him to his life of crime. But this isn't just your normal Z-list Riddler. This is the Riddler who comes out and says, "Oh, by the way, I know this about you. I know this about you. And Batman, I know this about you." He parlays this idea that if knowledge is power. So he manages to chip away at the society of Gotham and the government of Gotham and the law of Gotham by knowing all these things and putting them two and two together, essentially becoming the king of Gotham. What makes this book so frightening is that there is only one way out of this book, and that's for Batman to kill the Riddler. And if you haven't picked this up yet, you need to, for the ending. is as controversial as potentially the ending in The Killing Joke. The Killing Joke ending's up for debate. Did he or didn't he? This book, there's no debate. You know what happened. It was such a dark book. The colours, with all the green in it, kind of just threw your eyes off it a little bit. It suffers a little bit from the recent Riddler Year 1 book that came out by Paul Dano, which is tied to the Batman movie. But this came out a couple of months before that, and it's still a frightening read, which is one of the things I love about it. Cool. Freyja, what did you think of this book?
I really liked it. We had a couple of Riddler-based focus books this year. This one was the best one, obviously. You did get to see more of what makes him tick and what his past was, which is very good. And it was the best one out of the series so far, which is disappointing, to be perfectly honest. I was hoping they'd all be really good, but
the Two-Face one was abysmal. The Two-Face one, I could not. I mean, my wife looked at the Two-Face one. I think I said this on the pod when we reviewed it. She looked at the Two-Face one, and my wife doesn't read a shed load of comics, but she came across the key, the how to work out what was going on, and she got it like that. And I was like, come on, so.
Mr. Freeze was okay. Mr. Freeze was
okay. The Freeze was all right. Yeah, Freeze was okay. Cool. Sorry, Freyja.
Yep. Oh no, I'm just saying. Also, the use of color was really, really well done. Especially in the last panel or the last pages when they have the split basketball court with the past and the present. It was very well done. I like the kind of what's it called? Or it looks like it's peeling back like that leaf effect.
All right,
it looks like it's leaves blowing away in the wind, because that's how it's separating the two. It was really well done. The artwork was fantastic. The story was really good. This is definitely a book you should pick up. I believe it is one of the best ones this year.
I can't believe I picked two corkers. Way, look at that. Even Freyja says so. Way, it's like I know what I'm doing.
I know.
Matthew,
crazy.
God.
I think a few weeks before this book actually released, we had just discussed about possibly giving more love to minor characters because we see so much Batman and Joker stuff, Joker content. Joker has had three or four books by itself this year, and so we were talking about how the Penguin needs more love. Bring back the old time Batman villains such as the Penguin, Riddler. And then this book released. Yes.
Condiment
Calendar Man.
Yeah.
But then this book released and it just blew itself out of the water. It's just so well done, well written. And I always talk about how one of my favorite things about the Batman comics is the detective side of things. Him being down to earth, trying to figure out clues and puzzles and trying to find the answer to why or what's happening. And this book delivers on that aspect as well. It's so well done. As Freyja says, if you haven't picked up this book for your collection or just to read, please do. It's absolutely fantastic.
There you go. Wow. 6 up, 6 down. 6 of the best from 2022 from us here, the Definitive Crew. Excellent. Guys, thank you so much for spending the time. Hope you have some really cool New Year's plans.
Yeah.
I'm an oldie, so I'll be staying in and cooking.
I'll probably be working.
Nope, I will be having fun.
I'll probably be working.
I'll have fun
working in healthcare. I get work all the time.
Yep.
All right. Whatever your New Year's plans are for everyone, please stay safe while you enjoy the festivities, because we'd love to see you again in the new year. Freyja, thanks for 2022. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Bring on next year.
Yep, you're still stuck with me.
I would not want to be anywhere else. And Matthew, you're a great addition to the team. I'm glad you stuck around, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to be part of this. It has been an absolute blast being part of this team.
All right, let me just say,
Even if you do make fun of me all the time.
says you, pot calling the yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah. Don't forget to check out UCPN for all your favorite shows, including Matthew.
The Magic Crusaders, where we discuss Magic the Gathering, whether it be your favorite cards, combos, and even do a little bit of gameplay.
Cool.
I didn't mess it up this time.
You did all right. Freyja.
Oh, also K-pop Cosmos, where we talk about K-pop groups and a little bit of history.
Cool. Talk about history. Only one place to go. The Old Timers Comic Book Show for your DC Marvel books of yesteryear. Yeah, that's pretty much this for this year. Guys, I have had an absolute blast. I look forward to doing this with you guys every time we're together. You cheer me up no end. So thank you so much for your efforts. I really do appreciate it. For all our viewers out there, have a safe, happy, and prosperous new year. This is Johnny Machine Hughes. As always, adios.
Bye.
Bye-bye.